You're the one everyone calls when they need something. Need help moving? You're there. Need someone to talk to at 2 a.m.? Your phone is always on. Need money, time, energy, support? You give it. All of it. Without hesitation. But when you need help, when you're the one drowning, when you're the one falling apart, you don't call anyone. You handle it alone. You always have. You always will. Welcome to the psychology of people who always help others but never ask for help. The ones who give and give and give until there's nothing left. The ones who believe their worth depends on how useful they are. The ones who would rather suffer in silence than admit they need support. Today, we're going inside that mindset. And what we discover there might explain everything you've never understood about yourself. Because this isn't about being generous. This isn't about being kind. This isn't about being strong. This is about fear. Deep, old, painful fear. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine someone you love is struggling. They tell you they need help. What do? You drop everything. You show up. You fix it. You give whatever they need without thinking twice. Now imagine you're the one struggling. You're drowning. You desperately need help. Do you ask for it? If you're like most perpetual helpers, the answer is no. Absolutely not. Never. Not because you don't need it, but because asking feels impossible, terrifying, wrong. And that's where the story really begins. Most people think helpers just love helping, that they're naturally generous, selfless, noble. But psychologists know the truth. Most people who can't stop helping others are running from something. Usually, they're running from needing help themselves. Because somewhere, somehow, they learned a dangerous lesson. Needing help is weakness. Being a burden is unforgivable. Your value comes from what you can do for others, not from who you are. And once you learn that lesson, it shapes everything. Every relationship, every interaction, every moment of your life. You become the giver, the helper, the strong one, the one everyone leans on. And you never, ever let anyone see you need support too. Here's what this looks like in real life. Your friend calls crying. You drop everything, rush over, stay up all night listening, helping, supporting. The next day, you're exhausted, overwhelmed, dealing with your own crisis. But when your friend asks if you're okay, you smile and say, "I'm fine. Don't worry about me." And they believe you, because your performance is flawless, because you've been practicing it your whole life. This is the helper's trap. You're surrounded by people, but completely alone, because nobody knows the real you, the struggling you, the one who needs just as much as everyone else. Researchers have found something fascinating. People who always help but never ask usually aren't doing it just to be nice. They're doing it because helping makes them feel valuable, needed, important, safe. When you're helping someone, you have a purpose, a role, a reason to exist. But when you need help, that role disappears. And without it, who are you? This is what psychologists call tying your self-worth to your usefulness. Your value becomes conditional, based on what you can do, not who you are. And that's exhausting, because you can never rest, never stop, never just be. You have to constantly prove your worth by helping, by giving, by being useful, and asking for help. That would mean admitting you're not always the strong one, not always capable, not always enough. And if you're not enough, will people still want you around? Let's talk about where this starts. Because most perpetual helpers weren't born this way. They were made, usually in childhood. Maybe you grew up in a home where your parents were overwhelmed, stressed, struggling, and you learned early, don't add to their burden. Don't make things harder. Be the easy kid, the helpful one, the one who doesn't need anything. So you started taking care of yourself. And then you started taking care of others. Your siblings, your parents, everyone. And slowly, without realizing it, you learned your needs don't matter as much as everyone else's. Your pain isn't as important. Your struggles should stay hidden. This is what researchers call parentification, when a child becomes the caretaker instead of being cared for. And it teaches you a lesson you carry forever. Love means giving. Safety means being useful. Worth means sacrificing yourself for others. Or maybe it was different. Maybe you asked for help once. and you were rejected, ignored, told to stop being so needy, made to feel like a burden. And that rejection hurt so much, you decided, never again. I'll never ask again. I'll handle everything myself. Because if you never ask, you never get rejected. If you never show weakness, nobody can hurt you with it. This is called fear-based self-reliance. And it's one of the loneliest ways to live. Because you're protecting yourself from rejection by rejecting yourself first. By deciding your needs aren't worth asking for. Here's something most people don't realize. Perpetual helpers often don't even know they need help. They've spent so long ignoring their own needs, pushing down their own feelings. They've lost touch with themselves completely. Someone asks, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" And you genuinely don't know how to answer. Because you've trained yourself not to have needs, not to notice pain, not to acknowledge struggle. This is emotional self-abandonment. And it's one of the cruelest things you can do to yourself. Because your needs don't disappear just because you ignore them. They just go underground, unmet, festering, slowly destroying you from the inside. You might get sick more often, feel exhausted all the time, experience anxiety, depression, burnout, but you still don't ask for help. Because you don't connect these symptoms to the fact that you've been running on empty for years. Let me tell you about the relationship dynamics of perpetual helpers. On the surface, they seem to have lots of relationships, lots of friends, people who care about them. But look closer, really look. Most of these relationships are one-sided. You give, they take. You support, they lean. You help, they need. And when you need something, silence, excuses. Suddenly, everyone's busy. Not always, but often enough that it hurts. Here's why this happens. When you train people that you don't need help, they believe you. They stop offering. They stop checking in. They get comfortable in their role as the one who receives. And you get stuck in your role as the one who gives. And breaking that pattern, that's terrifying for both of you. Because if you suddenly start asking for support, it disrupts the entire relationship. It challenges their perception of you. It requires them to show up differently. And some people can't handle that. Some people only want you when you're the helper, the giver, the strong one. So you stay silent. Because losing the relationship feels worse than continuing to give without receiving. But here's the heartbreak. That's not a real relationship. That's a transaction, where you trade your support for their presence. And transactions aren't love. They're just business. Research shows something important. People consistently underestimate how willing others are to help. When you finally work up the courage to ask for support, people are usually happy to give it. Happier than you imagined. Because most humans actually want to help. It makes them feel good, useful, connected. But perpetual helpers don't believe this. They can't imagine people wanting to help them the way they want to help others. Because deep down, they believe they're different. That their needs are somehow more burdensome, more inconvenient, more unworthy. This is what psychologists call negative self-bias. The belief that you're the exception to every rule about deserving care. Everyone else deserves help. Everyone else should ask when they need support. Everyone else is worthy of care, just not you. Here's what happens inside the mind of someone who can't ask for help. They see someone struggling, and immediately they think, I can fix this. I should help. They need me. Then they're struggling, and they think, I should handle this alone. I can't bother anyone. They have their own problems. See the double standard? See the unfairness? You hold yourself to completely different standards than everyone else. Standards that are impossible, exhausting, destructive. You give others grace, understanding, permission to be human. But yourself? You get criticism, shame, the expectation of perfect self-sufficiency. This is called hyperindependence. And it's not strength. It's a trauma response. It's your brain trying to protect you from the pain of rejection by making sure you never need anyone enough to be rejected. But protection that extreme becomes a prison, where you're safe but completely alone. Let's talk about what this does to you over time. At first, being the helper feels good, purposeful, like you're making a difference. But slowly, it starts to drain you. You're giving and getting nothing back. You're supporting everyone, but have no support yourself. You start to feel resentful, taken advantage of, used. But you can't say anything, because you never told anyone you were struggling. You never asked for help. You never set boundaries. So the resentment builds. Quietly, poisonously, you start to pull away, get cynical, wonder why you bother helping at all. And then you feel guilty. Because good people don't resent helping, right? Good people give freely without expecting anything back. Except you're not a saint. You're a human, and humans need reciprocity, balance, to feel valued not just for what they do, but for who they are. This cycle, helping, resenting, feeling guilty, helping more to prove you're good, is called compassion fatigue, and it's one of the fastest paths to burnout. Here's something that might surprise you. Many perpetual helpers are actually afraid of receiving, not just reluctant, afraid, because receiving means being vulnerable, visible, seen in your need. And vulnerability feels dangerous when you've spent your life believing safety comes from being strong, capable, self-sufficient. When someone tries to help you, it feels uncomfortable, wrong, like you owe them something. So you deflect, minimize. It's fine, I've got it. Really, don't worry about me. And they back off, because you've made it clear you don't want help. But that's not the truth, is it? You do want help. You desperately need it. You just don't know how to receive it. Don't trust it. Don't believe you deserve it. This is what researchers call a receiving deficit, the inability to let others give to you. And it's just as unhealthy as never giving at all. Let me tell you what healthy helping looks like. Healthy helping comes from fullness, not emptiness. You give because you have something to share, not because you need to prove your worth. Healthy helping includes boundaries. You can say no. You can say, I can't right now. You can prioritize your own needs sometimes. Healthy helping is reciprocal. You help others, and you let others help you. Give and receive. Back and forth. Balanced. Healthy helping doesn't require you to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. But if you're a perpetual helper, none of this feels natural. It feels wrong, selfish, impossible, because you've been doing it the other way for so long. You don't remember any other way to be. So how do you change? How do you break this pattern? It starts with awareness. Recognizing that your helping isn't always about kindness. Sometimes it's about fear, about avoiding vulnerability, about proving your worth. And that's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. The next step is small. So small it might feel meaningless. Ask for one thing, from one person, something tiny, something safe. Can you help me carry this? Can I borrow that book? Can we talk for a few minutes? Just one small ask. One tiny step toward letting someone give to you. And when they say yes, when they help, notice how it feels. Notice that the world doesn't end, that they don't resent you, that helping you might actually make them feel good. This is how you retrain your brain, one small experience at a time, slowly learning that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. You might also need to grieve. Grieve all the times you needed help and didn't ask. Grieve the relationships that only wanted you as the giver. Grieve the childhood that taught you your needs didn't matter. That grief is real. That pain is valid. And it deserves to be felt. Therapy can help too, especially if your fear of asking for help is rooted in deep trauma. If every time you think about being vulnerable, your body goes into panic mode. A good therapist can help you understand where this pattern came from, help you challenge the beliefs driving it, help you practice receiving support in a safe space. And slowly, with time and practice, you can learn a new way of being in relationships. One where you give and receive, where you help others and let others help you, where your worth isn't tied to your usefulness, but to your existence, to who you are, not what you do. Here's what I want you to understand. If you're someone who always helps but never asks, you're not strong. You're scared. Scared of rejection. Scared of being a burden. Scared that if people knew you needed them, they'd leave. But that fear is keeping you from the very thing you need most. Real connection. The kind where people know all of you. The strong parts and the struggling parts. and choose to stay anyway. You can't have that kind of connection while wearing a mask, while pretending you never need anything, while keeping everyone at arm's length. Real intimacy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires letting people see you need them. That's terrifying, I know, but it's also the only way to stop being so alone. And here's something beautiful. When you finally let someone help you, when you finally admit you're struggling, something amazing happens. You give them a gift, the gift of being needed, of making a difference, of mattering to you. You let them experience what you've been hoarding for yourself, the joy of helping someone you care about. That's not a burden, that's love. So if you've been carrying everything alone, thinking that's what makes you strong, I want you to consider something different. Maybe real strength isn't carrying it all alone. Maybe real strength is knowing when to ask for help. Maybe courage isn't never needing anyone. Maybe courage is admitting you do. Maybe love isn't just giving. Maybe love is also receiving. And maybe, just maybe, you're worthy of support not because of what you do for others, but simply because you exist. You matter. Your needs matter. Your struggles matter. Your pain matters. And you deserve to have people in your life who show up for you the way you show up for them. Not because you've earned it, but because you're human. And humans need each other. That's not weakness. That's truth. So here's my question for you. What would change if you let someone help you today? What would happen if you asked for support instead of handling it alone? Maybe nothing bad. Maybe something beautiful. But you'll never know until you try. Take one small step. Ask for one small thing. Let one person in. That's how change begins. Not with a grand gesture, but with one honest moment. One brave ask. One person seeing you need them and choosing to stay. You've been strong for so long. You've carried so much. You've helped so many. Now it's time to let someone help you. Not because you're weak, but because you're worth it.